It's time once again to roast some viewer decks.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. Before we get to roasting, you could support us roasting with your actual dollars by going to patreon.com. There's a link in the description. We'll love you as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. It's just a win-win on all fronts.
Yes, you give us money directly, and we feel happy, and you feel happy as well. TCG Player you can use to support us indirectly. There's an affiliate link in the description below. Go there. Takes you directly to tcgplayer.com. Same cards, same price, same place, and guess what? We get supported. You spend nothing extra. This channel also sponsored by Moxfield.com, the best deck building website in the universe, on the planet, in the multiverse, everywhere. There's an ad for it somewhere in this video. Guess your time codes right now in the description. You're wrong. Sorry.
Yes, and happy birthday to everyone whose birthday is today. We roast you, and then we say happy birthday.
Yes, and let's be very clear before we start what we're going to be doing here. This is on a completely voluntary basis. Everybody whose deck is here sent us their decks directly and agreed that we could, quote-unquote, make fun of their decks. We are joking. We're having fun. Not all decks are completely optimal. Not all decks are made perfectly, and all decks have problems. So we're going to point them out for fun and for humor. That's the whole point of this video. None of these people are stupid. Even if we say the word stupid, they're not actually stupid. None of these people are bad deck builders. Even if we say they're bad deck builders, we're having fun.
We're really trying to cover all the bases. Everybody submitted knowing this was a roast and then doubly consented when we DM'd them after we chose their deck. There is no misconceptions from anyone we talked to.
Absolutely. So let's hop into this. The first one, this one had a lot of funny stuff. It is Doyle's Golta deck. And now, Golta cares about power.
Oh, yeah.
The first thing I notice when I look at this deck is it has Whisper of the Wilds. Do you know what that card does?
I know what Whisperer of the Wilds does.
Do you know what Whisperer of the Wilds does?
It's a 0/2.
It's a 0/2. It makes only green mana. Only green mana.
Okay.
So, strictly better is Elysian Dryad. Now, you don't need other colors, but there's situations where you could need it.
Do you mean Elysian Caryatid?
Elysian Caryatid is what I mean. It's on the screen. They knew what I was talking about. It also has 1 power, and it can make any color.
Which is irrelevant for Golta, but in general, strictly better. Also, like Whisper of the Wilds will not ramp you into Golta aside from its own mana. Elysian Caryatid will, thanks for putting on the script, Cherries. Elysian Caryatid will tap for 1 and ramp you 1. It's just it's just a better card. Get it, switch it. If you don't switch it, I'm calling the police.
Also, I hate this card. Circle of Elders. It's 4 mana, 4/2. It's awful. Why is this?
Sounds pretty good.
It should never be in any deck. And then if you have Formidable, which means you have 8 power in the board, meaning Golta costs 2 green. It taps for 3 mana. So you can't even use all that 3 mana on Golta. Oh my god, what is this? This card,
no.
It only has 2 power at 4 mana cost. What is that?
2 toughness?
No, I meant power. Sorry. It is actually a 2/4. This card is extra bad.
You are striking out on what cards you do. Lovestruck Beast also in the deck. Huh?
I get it. You can make 6 power for 4 mana. Lovestruck Beast is awful.
But it's not a card. It's just
nothing.
Toughness. It's power toughness.
If you just play as a 5/5, it can't attack. And then if you play the 1/1 first, now you've played for this. And if the 1/1 dies, it can't attack. Now it's a blank card again. This card's so bad.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's not worth actual You're not gonna would you play discard a card? Your commander costs 5 less, but still with restrictions? No, I'm not doing that.
Not even close. Nessian Boar is an awful card that's in this deck. I get it. It has 10 powers. It's pretty cheap. You can play Gigantosaurus to do the exact same thing, and you don't have this 10/6 that just can't attack because it's horrible when it attacks.
Regrowth? Kind of not a creature. There's a couple creatures that actually do regrowth. Timeless Witness being one of them that you're not playing. I would recommend that.
Eternal Witness was already in the deck, but it's don't put regrowth. We want to maximize creatures. When you build your Golta deck, maximize
even
creatures.
Warden of Marasa, Green Warden of Marasa. Throw that thing in there. It's got 5 power.
And then this must be a pet card because this is one of the worst cards I've ever seen. Hidden Path is a 6 mana, 2 green enchantment that gives all green creatures Forest Walk. That's all it does.
So Yavimaya plus this is your creatures are unblockable, and anything else is nothing.
And it gives your opponent stuff Forest Walk. Any green creature now can automatically attack you.
Whoa, wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute.
This card is so bad. Now, if it's one of your, if you love it, it's a beloved card, sure, but ugh.
We don't love it. No. Dryad Arbor is in the deck. No fetch lands in the deck. Don't you want to draw? You actually don't want to draw Dryad Arbor. You just want it on the battlefield. Oof.
Try it ever is so bad. Especially, it's fine with fetch lands when it's like here, but it's oh god, that could Field of Ruin, get that out. Field of Ruin sucks.
Oh, Field of Ruin stink. It's terrible. It ramps your other players. You can throw in a demolition field now and not have to do that because it's bad.
And that's it. Now, and to call out the worst thing about this deck, the laziest mana base I've ever seen. It doesn't have any payoffs for having these forests. 26 of them in the deck.
Throw some utility lands. Treetop Village basically taps for 2 mana for Ghalta.
You bum. You bum.
Who's next?
Well, it's Wiglord with T-Mat Dragons, and okay. Dragons have high CMC. Like, that is just very normal. You can expect that.
Factual.
4.3, that's high. And it's like, okay, but Dragons can afford it.
4.3 what?
Average mana value for this deck. Sorry. 4.3 average mana value for this deck. 32 lands.
Woo!
You cannot play 32 lands when your average card costs 4 mana to play. That is not.
Well, you can. You just won't be playing those average 4 mana value cards very often.
This deck can never curve out. On top of that, so this deck needs to get into the late game. So needs some interaction. It literally has none. The only piece of interaction in the whole deck are Dragon Tempest, Scourge of Valakut, and Terror of the Peaks, and those aren't even really interaction.
None?
None.
Did you just forget?
There's just none in the deck. What is this? I don't know. Maybe Wiglord built like a this was like, hey, I'm gonna start with this. You need to finish this because
Send this in. It's unfinished.
This is super unfinished.
You're missing 4 lands at least. You're probably got like too many 10 drops. I'm just gonna say right now, and then maybe throw in some removal.
Yeah.
Maybe throw in some ways to kill your opponent's things because then you just don't lose.
Do you know what Sarkhan Dragon Soul is?
Is that the dual deck one?
Yes.
Yeah, the dual deck one.
It's it's the Planeswalker deck one. It's terrible. Like, it's not even if you can activate all of its modes, it doesn't do anything.
The ultimate is great. How are you supposed to get there?
You're never going to get there.
You just can't.
You literally cannot get there. Leyline of Punishment, do you know what that one does?
I know it's not a removal spell, so this is, you know what? Right now, whoosh, make that switch.
This one, it literally makes it so players can't gain life and stuff. This card doesn't do anything in this deck. It's like
you're gonna be staring down a Grave Titan attacking you, making 2 tokens. So the other, Joe Cherry's over there saying it's not even good, and you're just like, I wish I could answer it, but I have Leyline of Punishment in my hand.
that I drew on the first turn, so it was as bad as
turn 1, Leyline of Punishment. There's your punishment.
And okay, this is a classic newbie trap, but you fell for it. Seedborn Muse with no ways to use the mana consistently is just it's a newbie trap. A lot of players fall into it.
Good card, but it needs to be with other cards.
Exactly. You need either, I love that this is perfect. Seedborn Muse goes when your commander has an ability that can be activated every single turn, or the other thing is
Flash.
You can pair it with Flash. Yeah. Sorry, Wiggler. This deck, I hope for your sake, it was not completed.
I hope that you haven't played it yet, because you need to put some removal in first. Next, we got Sleepy's Peer and Toothy deck. Cherries, what do we got here?
This is a snoozer. I'm sorry. This deck
from Sleepy.
It is from Sleepy. This deck was an absolute snoozer to look at. It's somewhere between a 9 and CDH. It's somewhere
pretty strong.
It's pretty strong, but also it doesn't know what it's doing. And 90% of the deck is Commander Staples. Oh, you did it. You did it.
I hope there's a Cyclonic Rift in there.
There is.
What about Mystic Study?
Oh, it's also in there.
Mystic Remora.
8 tutors.
Free counter spell.
You gotta be kidding. It's everything you've ever expected. It's in it, but then it's like, okay, is it a CDH deck? No, because with this, there's cards like Triskaidekaphile. So it's like, do you want to be CDH or do you want to be fun and wacky? I don't know what you want.
It's like there's a fun and wacky spirit trapped inside you that's trying to get out, and all it can do is manifest one jank card into your deck.
Well, it also has Simic Ascendancy. Those two are both janky and cool.
2 jank cards have been manifested, and it's just like, I mean, how are you supposed to win with Triskaidekaphile? Where they're like, okay, I'll kill Toothy, you draw 20.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly 13.
Yeah, exactly. How are you getting down to 13?
Right, then you just win, and you're like, and then your opponent's like, wait, I stopped Triskaidekaphile, and you won with a combo. What's happening?
Yeah, and it's like, and then my other favorite thing about this deck is, obviously, it seems like it's trying to be a really high-powered deck. This is a birthing pod, but it only goes up to 4, and it seems like it wants to get Displacer Kitten. Either you need to make a choice here, Sleepy. You want a CDH Peer and Toothy deck? Go for it. Go all in. Take out this other sub-theme of like these little these fun cards that like are really awesome and would be cool in a Peer and Toothy deck that was lower power. this is just a CDH deck. That's fine if you're
Embrace
playing.
the miserable nature of your deck.
Either embrace it and make everyone miserable with your deck, or go the opposite way and make a super fun, janky, toothy deck.
Next on the chopping block, it's Amita's Jurina Kudrow Human Tribal deck.
Yes, and this one, the first thing I noticed when I started looking is it's just missing so many amazing, strong humans that could just be in any deck. Like Adeline, Alesha, Macias, and Thalia. Now, those are actually all legends. I didn't mean them to be all legends, but all these are awesome humans who just can go in any deck in their place instead of having these awesome cards.
The gallery of some of the best humans.
This is the rogue, and here's a rogues gallery of the worst
humans
cards.
that snuck into the deck.
Loyal Century, okay. Fiend Slayer Paladin. Guess what? They're not going to target you with those red spells, baby. Watch out.
Watch out when they have Leyline of Punishment. You can gain life off of it, so be careful.
Do you have any clue what Kerrigan Dragonlord does?
Kargan, that's the level up guy, right? Red. He levels up 1,000 times, and then you wish you hadn't leveled him up.
and then you spend 30 mana on a flyer.
Doomblade.
A Cavalry Pegasus, not even a human, but it gives a human flying. You've got to be kidding me.
So on the script, Joe wrote Celery Pegasus. It's the healthiest Pegasus, very crunchy Pegasus.
I'm gonna get someone to draw the art for a Celery Pegasus.
Yeah, Celery Pegasus coming at you. New Commander staple. Even better than Cavalry Pegasus. We got Ishin in the deck. Not built to round maximally because he's in the deck, and there's only 6 cards that could ever proc off of him. So most of the time, we got a 3/4 vanilla in the deck.
It's literally there was six creatures in the whole deck that triggered off of this.
Even if it was 12, I'd be like, is this worth it?
Yeah, you want to have like 20 plus in your deck.
Build an Ishin deck. That's another idea.
Yeah, Ishin really isn't a 99 card. It really doesn't fit in decks. Really funny. And Taste of Karlov also in this deck.
Doubling death triggers?
Yes, you have to. Again, this is another one. Build a Taste of deck. 4 total death triggers in the deck.
Or build a tokens deck or something. But this is neither.
This is neither. It just doesn't work with. And like I get it. She kind of works with the tokens made by Drina, but Drina doesn't make that many tokens.
She makes like 7 over the course of a game. There's only 4 pieces of ramp in the deck. 4. Do you even watch the Nitpicking Nerds?
No, I think it was Soul Ring and like
that doesn't even count.
All the signets.
Oh, well, they like double up on the signets at least. Throw some Myriad Landscapes in there, please. You gotta cast these spells. You gotta cast Loyal Sentry on curve.
Yeah, you're not gonna be casting any spells because you're just never gonna draw a ramp. Some games you'll draw 1 piece of ramp. Yikes.
Most games you'll draw no pieces of ramp.
And that feels really, really bad. Oh my god.
How about the removal package?
This is one of the worst removal packages for Commander I've seen in a long time. It made me like
shrivel up.
It's like painful to me.
Cringe. Is it very cringe?
Like like looking at this, it feels like you come from Modern and Standard because these cards were great and playable in Modern and Standard. Not in Commander. Fatal Push. Yikes! That's real. Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt's the first is the one I'm.
It's borderline
passable, but no, it's not. Lightning Helix, which is way worse. You don't like that card.
Not worth the 3 life, especially when they have Leyline of Punishment.
Terminate's okay on a budget if you were on a budget here, but I don't know if you were. It's tough for me to know.
We're not big Terminate fans here.
No,
Dreadbore
definitely not.
Is stinky farts, and we're definitely not fans of it.
At least Terminate is an instant.
Sorcery speed. Planeswalkers are nothing. They are beneath requiring text on cards.
I really hate like Path to Exile's here, which is probably the best one of all these. Playable, decent, but like you're missing Swords to Plowshares before that.
Yeah, that always goes in first, and all these other cards come out.
Yeah. Dire Tactics is.
At least it's better than Terminate. Take out Terminate first, and it's got some flavor.
Yeah, at least it's a little flavorful. And Fateful Absence, I really don't like that card. I don't know.
I hate that card for so many reasons. I think it's okay. I don't think I would ever really play it in white decks because the amount of removal that's better is like colossal, the numbers of it. But like, what is happening? Because it says destroy target creature, but the event on the card is Sorin finds an empty coffin. Nobody destroyed Edgar. He just got up and left. And it's like Fateful Absence. He's not dead. He's absent. Where is the destroy?
At least the clue part makes sense.
Where is it?
And this mana base was actually pretty good. So you get a thumbs up.
1 out of 5 stars.
1 out of 5 stars. The mana base was built well, especially it looks like it's cards you have, and it just looks solid.
And so far, you're the only person to receive any stars.
Yeah, you're the first person to get a compliment.
Next deck here is OP's Ghoul Caller Gisa deck. Now the first actual ginormous problem with this deck is they used redacted website. They seriously did not send us a Maraschiello deck list, which, as you know, is the biggest sin possible. So I figured we'd make fun of it and plug Maraschiello.com.
Because Maraschiello.com is literally amazing. I actively refused to use decks sent to me from other websites because Maraschiello is so superior and so easy on the eyes. I literally cannot look at other websites. Like,
it was ugly. I gotta say, they used redacted website. My eyes bled.
Maraschiello looks amazing. Like, that is something that we don't talk about enough here. It takes your decks, it makes it look smooth, and oh my goodness.
The UI.
The UI is so good, and it has dark mode and light mode. For if you're a psychopath who likes light mode, it's there, and if you're a normal human, it has dark mode.
The other sites only have poop mode.
Yeah, exactly, because they're all poop. No, it's not.
We're
poop.
roasting other websites.
Well, but redacted website is poop. Maraschiello.com, not poop.
Yeah. So back to the actual deck, which was sent to me on redacted. Get out of here. This is a decent zombie tribal that just plays random vanilla creatures because they have high power for Gisa. So, like, we're playing Relic Golem. Joe, could you tell me what Relic Golem does?
Not a chance.
We're playing Phyrexian Soul Gorger, a 3-mana 8/8, and Plague Reaver, which is just not a great one. So these cards only exist to be sacked to Ghoul Color Gisa, obviously. But we're playing Zombie Lords and we're playing Expendable Zombies. So it's like, is it worth playing a literal brick, the Ace of Spades? It does nothing without Ghoul Color Gisa for like 2 extra zombies.
Never. No, don't play bricks in your deck just because of the commander. There are situations where that's not true, but this is not one of them.
At least play Soulless one, where it cares about the number of zombies and it can be really big and it's a zombie and it's like Relic Golem.
Yeah, Soulless one is sweet, at least.
It's at least cool. Relic Golem is not cool. It was cool in Zendikar Rising Limited.
It wasn't even cool then.
It was okay.
It wasn't cool, though.
It was okay.
It was okay, but it wasn't cool.
So if you're going to be boring, I figure, with Cabal Coffers, which is in the deck, and I'm falling asleep even talking about it, if you're going to be boring with it, double down on how boring you're being and play Cabal Stronghold. They go together when you play 38,000 swamps.
How many swamps were in this deck?
I don't know. At least 38,000.
If 38,000, yeah, when you play a high basic swamp count, there are mana bases where there's Cabal Coffers, but you don't want to play the Cabal Stronghold. This isn't one of them.
It's mono black.
It's mono black. You're playing more than enough basics for Cabal Stronghold to also be a free roll.
Or, even cooler, you take out Cabal Coffers and I'll respect you.
Ooh.
Yeah, that could be pretty sweet. No Grave Titan. I was impressed by the amount of restraint shown. This is a zombie tribal deck playing 6/6s that do nothing already, but no Grave Titan.
Yeah.
That's 1 out of 5 stars earned.
Another compliment from the Nitpicking.
But there are 3 cards I think you would especially hate, Cherries.
Yeah, I mean, I really just think these cards are all real bad. So we have Village Rites.
That's the closest to playable, and we wouldn't really ever play it.
I'm really low on it. I just don't like what it does. Eliminate. Okay, that card's terrible. It's worse than Fatal Push, and I would never touch Fatal Push with a 10-foot pole.
It's worse than Doomblade, which is also in here, which we joke about how bad it is.
Doomblade is like, it's hilarious how bad Doomblade is.
It's like 11th on the list of 1 in a black instant.
At least when somebody's playing like Infernal Grasp, I'm like, at least it answers everything. Terminate, at least it answers everything. These don't answer everything. Not even close.
The next deck, Fish, Lamp Clocks, Feldegriff, you guessed it, Group Hug. So obviously I hate everything this deck stands for, and looking at it made me want to quit Magic.
I mean, yeah, the Group Hug is
it's got your favorite card. It's got Rites of Flourishing. That's like, if I had to, it's a poster child of this deck. Rites of Flourishing. We would love to make it so that our opponents win the game in 2 turns.
Fish Like Cloud tried to tell me this deck can win because it can make your opponents draw. It's like, get out of here. You mean, how can your opponents not win when they draw their whole deck?
I can. I know I can.
All of my decks are going to be able to win when I draw my whole entire deck.
Yeah, this is the Wombo combo deck because we have Group Hug Time Sink plus invalidating the game by winning instantly with Approach the Second Sun and another instance of Triskaidekaphile. So we're going to just give everybody a bunch of resources and then 6 turns from then say it didn't matter at all, instant win that I could have done 6 turns ago.
It's very fair. It's hilarious because
Mambo.
It's exactly. It's like, I want to make the game fun for everybody. I win.
You have to kill me immediately, or else I'm going to win instantly. At least if you're going to make them draw out, it all leads together. You know, you start out on a curve and you ramp up, and you're like, oh, you just drew 50 cards, you're dead. This is like, you drew 12 cards and I won the game.
So you're building a deck, BZ. How many fogs do you include on average?
I'm thinking at least 7, because that's how many I saw in this deck. You do not need 7 fogs in any deck. I would say the maximum amount of fogs I would ever play is 2, maybe 1.
maybe 3. 3 might be the highest I would go on fogs. Like I could see like
It's like they're all just fogs. It's like I think the Teferi's Protection I counted as a fog because I'm sure that's what this deck's going to be using it for. Because no one's ever going to actually destroy any of your stuff. You're only going to be using it to fog. 7. You're playing instant wins. I don't know what's happening.
is fog actually in the deck? Real fog?
I don't even remember because it's generic fog. Like Arachnogenesis was one of them, I think.
At least that Genesis is really bad. That card is cool. I love the design. It's bad.
It's not the best card.
It really is a bad card. I don't know why it's like
it's on par with
$30.
like the other fogs, which we don't play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like so. This is the deck that just auto loses to any deck that doesn't need to attack. Because if I'm just playing Krakow with Power in my deck, or I'm playing Aristocrats, I go 7 fogs. All right, you're dead.
Yeah. Why? Okay. What is Mind Over Matter doing in this deck?
Like it's just like a random broken ass card just sitting in this deck where you're like, all right. Group hug, but also Mind Over Matter. My turn's gonna take 5 minutes.
What are we trying to untap with Mind Over Matter?
Well, you discard a card and then you like untap a land and you Feldergriff again. I don't know.
Got him.
This stinks and you stink.
The group hug stinks. Period. And the fact that you would build this deck disgusts me.
I'm offended. All right, so we're going to give a gold star right off the bat with Absolute Rapscallion. I just love that name. This is their Wernog/Othhelm deck, which is actually Will and Mike.
Yeah, Will and Mike, they're partners.
You sent me a deck. Joe said, send us your decks. We're going to roast them. And then you sent a deck with 93 cards. It's not even a deck. This is an idea for a deck. So keep in mind, this isn't a real deck.
It's not a real deck. And in fact, they started with good ramp. 8 mana dorks, a Utopia Spot, and a Wild Growth, a Steve. That's 11 ramp. You're good on your ramp.
But then somebody came behind them, hit them in the head with a sledgehammer, and then when they regained consciousness, they added Arcane Signet.
What? No, Arcane Signet, 1, I would never put in a green deck. And 2, I would never put in a green deck.
And I would actually never even put it in a green deck.
Yeah, exactly. That's the third point, is that we won't put it in a green deck.
You're playing Carador in your deck, which is just the biggest mistake because you should have just been playing it in the command. It could be your commander. Just play it in the command zone. Don't disrespect Carador.
Yes, I love this next one. What deck did you build that plays Vampiric Tutor, one of the best cards in the entire format?
Like single digits, one of the best cards.
Yeah, not even close. And Victimize, one of the most medium cards in the format.
There's like 85 better reanimation spells. These 2 cards I cannot fathom ever being in the same deck. I just can't. Yeah. It would have to be some sort of trade binder deck, and then like Elon Musk comes in and gives you a Vampiric Tutor. I don't know. That would have to be what it is.
It makes sense to be in a trade binder, right? Because the Victimize, Vampiric Tutor were both in Commander Legends. So it's like, hey, I could have easily opened these and have them together. But you have 93 cards. It's on Moxfield. That doesn't feel like a trade binder deck.
Because you'd have 100 if it was a trade binder deck.
Yeah, or but to be fair, you would have 100 if you put it on Moxfield and took the time to finish the deck.
So this is a creature deck because you're trying to play Mike and Will and get all these creature things, and you have Carador to cast them from your graveyard. But we've got like D-Spark, Vanishing Verse, and then Path to Exile. Like all these cards could just get out of here, be replaced with actual creatures that remove things, and then you have more creatures in your creature deck. This is like basic Nitpicking Nerds 101.
Yeah, well, hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Apparently the main thing we're going to roast your decks for is your terrible choices when it comes to removal.
Yes, and Grim Flayer is in your deck. I love Grim Flayer as much as the next guy, but that was only really in Pioneer and Modern for 10 seconds. It is horrendous in Commander. Horrendous.
It does Surveil 3 now.
That's cool. Big Stinky.
It is definitely Big Stinky. And, okay. If you're going to play Spore Frog, okay, 1 Spore Frog, totally passable, playable card. You don't need Kami of the False Hope to go with it. You only need one of these cards because the idea is you're going to either replay them, spam them, and just keep doing them over and over again. You don't need both of them, especially because you have Vampiric Tutor to go find the one you want.
And like if you're Vampiric Tutor for Spore Frog, just zoom out for a second and realize what you just did. And it makes no sense.
It's hilarious.
What is happening?
I want to live in a world where I Vampiric Tutor for Spore Frog.
I would no longer be in the game. I would concede because I'd have like an identity crisis.
Pure shame. Okay, and last but not least, we have Maria's Rocco Realm Razor deck. Now, Maria is our editor for some of our shorts, and we're absolutely going to poop on this deck because this is dumb.
Her deck is last and least. You said it wasn't least. It is.
You're right. This is least. Does anyone know what Realm Razor does for starters?
Yeah, off the top of your head, 3 seconds. You failed. Here it is.
Yes. It literally Fiend Hunters all lands, and then when it leaves, all the lands come back.
That sounds pretty fun.
Super fun.
But there's more.
But there's more. What about the fact that this is 2 separate triggers? Meaning, when Realm Raiser enters, now there's a trigger going on the stack to exile all lands. If you remove the Realm Raiser in response to that trigger,
the other trigger goes off to return all lands, but there aren't any lands to return, and then whoop, all lands are gone.
For the rest of the game, all lands are exiled. What a fun card Realm Raiser is.
This is just classic, you've never played in a pod with your friends because you won't have any friends after you play with this deck. It's just not.
The main win con of this deck. This is what this deck wants to do. And it's horrible. It wants to have Realm Raiser, Eldrazi Displacer, and Amulet of Vigor to make infinite mana.
Okay.
What are you supposed to do with that at all?
I love how that's the combo when you could just remove Amulet of Vigor and remove all lands. Then you win. The game's over. You have creatures in play. They don't. There's no lands on the battlefield. I love that we just added Amulet of Vigor because now we're trying to go infinite.
Yeah, well, you want to be able to flicker every single time, right? That's like the idea. You could
just Armageddon.
Yeah. You know what was missing from this deck? If you're gonna do a spicy deck that's gonna flicker your lands over and over again, how do you not have Scorched Desert? Come on.
Come on.
That's such a cool win.
That's the payoff right there.
That's the payoff. Then you don't even have to do anything with the mana. You just have to flicker over and over again.
And maybe then you'd have more colorless pips for your freaking Eldrazi Displacer because you only have 3 in the whole deck. This is needed Scorched Desert so bad.
It's so hilarious. Luckily, Emiol's also in the deck who can replace the Eldrazi Displacer. But if you're going to have a Eldrazi Displacer in the deck, you need Wingdings.
Let's brew responsibly.
Yeah, that's so bad.
Why is Face Reward and Second Sunrise in the deck?
Period. Like, I legitimately do not know why.
We spent 36 hours trying to think of why they could be in the deck, and we don't have any.
I was just looking at them like, if Realm Raiser dies, is that the whole idea? But how's Realm Raiser going to die? If it got to the battlefield, there's no lands left.
And how is it dying? Like you're like you can't ever hold up 4 mana with a Realm Raiser in play.
Okay, and now your Realm Raiser combo deck. How do you want to ramp? How would you ramp?
If I'm actually playing a Realm Raiser, wouldn't you just? I don't even know. I would probably play Signets or something because I'm being miserable.
See, my thought was, well, we need to get a lot of lands out fast so we can get our combo and go.
Oh, if we're trying to combo, yeah. See, I would just forget that in Armageddon, people, because I already would understand that I'm a piece of garbage for trying.
I don't know why it's all creature-based ramp. I think you want spell-based ramp for this deck. This isn't like an overall creature deck. Like, have some so Rocco can search them up. Like, I like having some, but you should have spell ramp so you want to get a ton of lands in play so that you can get the Realm Raiser and then put your combo together.
It's like playing Armageddon and then being like, no, wait, it's fun, I swear.
It's fun Armageddon, I swear.
Like, don't worry, I'm not going to play Armageddon the good way. I'm going to play it bad on purpose so that I can throw in 3 extra steps. And instead of Armageddoning you, I'm going to win the game.
This deck does have the cutest combo, though.
What?
So instead of doing, if you have the Amulet and the Realm Raiser, and you have 4 mana floating, you can actually go infinite with Dust Elemental.
Dust Elemental, wow.
Do you even know what that does?
This deck's going to be picking up a lot of dust because you're never going to play it, but I do know that it bounces 3 creatures to your hand.
Yeah, so it can bounce itself and the Realm Raiser and whatever else on the battlefield. It's so stupid, but it can just do it.
What's the... Oh, like you have to do it main phase?
You just... Yeah, exactly. You float them in and then you go, boop, bounce the creatures. All right, let's do it again.
So you know what? 1 gold star, Maria. And the first 3 decks, we didn't even think about this star system. So they all get 0 stars.
And Maria, you get 0 stars because this deck is miserable.
Give it 1 star.
No, I took the star away.
Well, if you want to see us give no stars because we hadn't thought of it until this video, you can watch our other video where we celebrated 10,000 subscribers and made fun of some other decks.
We're not even in the same room for that video. Peace out, Tribe Scout.